Morning, guys. Mark Fresh with Protect Dog Training and Big Boy. Good. All right. So this morning I thought I'd kind of go over, since I'm starting to get out in public, starting to do my environmental. If you saw the Verizon one, I did one at Home Depot yesterday and it didn't come through. So I wanted to kind of take the chance of going through equipment. And what do I use? What do I have in my pouch? Somebody asked me the other day what apron that I use. This is what they call an apron, a little small. It's got nice pockets all over the place. All right. Let me see what my camera view is. Good. So I thought of it this morning when I woke up. What am I going to cover this morning? Well, I'm covering the same thing all the time, so I'll break it up a little bit. But let's see what we got here. All right. So I usually on my daily use, I always have an apron. Right. It gives me pockets up front here. And now what do I have in those pockets? All right, let's go ahead and go through that. So in this pouch, I usually always carry my clicker in this little pocket. Okay, this brand name, by the way, let me go ahead and show you the brand names of the stuff that I'm using. This is my favorite stuff. This is the stuff that I've learned to rely on, and I'm not going to worry about his obedience. And that's why he's going to get out of sync. Couché. Because everything's about pattern and routine, right? And I'm not paying attention to him. I'm not doing the same thing. So we're talking a yak session. So if he gets a little crazy, it's all good. This is put out by a company by Skull Hattie. If you look up Skull Hattie Canine, SKOLLHATI, Skull Hattie. And it's a great product. This is actually a company that has another storefront. And I won't mention the storefront. They're really well known in LA. And he has his own online canine equipment of shirts and all kinds of little good stuff. They're also where I get my balls. Okay, this is the little fabric that they use in the suits. It's the same linen, and it's nice and soft. It's great for dogs. It's what I like to get my puppies started on, because it's got a soft feel to it. The puppies like it, and I can get them going on the bite. You saw that Skull Hattie little tug that I had the other day that I was using with him too, and I pointed that out, right? So I like to use an apron. You have all kinds of equipment on the dailies is what I use my apron, but you can use a jacket. They've got vests. They've got jackets that are more good for like a windbreaker type of jacket, that kind of thing. Let's go back through my pockets here that we started on. What do I carry in my pockets? Well, obviously I'm going to need pooper bags, and I just put those away. I had them in here, but I'll usually leave a roll of pooper scooper bags in here. And I'll also put my clicker, and I've got 2 clickers in here right now. And I like these little box clickers. They're the ones that are made out of a box. They make the best sound out of all the clickers I've found. They've got a lot of them in the pet store. I always turn my customers away from any pet store quality product because it's garbage, right? Example of that would be a professional would be more prone to be using a product by the name of Herm Springer, H-E-R-M Springer, for our pinch collars, right? And then again, what I was talking about, hey, get out of there, you little shit. That's what I'm talking about. This is the real dog. The real him is coming out, because I'm not concentrating on him. I'm not getting a flow of training. Obviously, he's going to start getting into trouble. So he's over here chewing on my stuff. So this is the real deal, guys. This is the stuff you don't see, right? That you don't realize. Hey, you, let me get him back in tune, because he's not going to work unless I get him into pattern and routine, right? Yes. As soon as you go into pattern, yep, you're going to get what you want out of it, right? But you got to keep building all these building blocks. I was talking about that yesterday too. Building blocks that we use in our behaviors that we're setting up to take us places. All right, so let's go back to this. If I have to, I'll take him and put him away. All right, because I won't be able to contain him if I get out of flow and out of sync. It all looks great until you start having the beast. All right, so the other thing I use is obviously a 6-foot leash, either leather, or this is the new fake leashes that are kind of a rubber. I can't think of the name of these. I got this out of a customer that came with, I do believe it was with the Shepherd that I've got. And I get a lot of my equipment in little ways like that. Now, my long line, I always use a 15-foot long line. And I like what's called tubular nylon. And I get off of Leoberg, tubular nylon, I get it off of Ray Allen. They've got about 3 or 4 different main companies that I deal with. Ray Allen, Leoberg would be another one. And you guys that are training dogs are probably familiar with a lot of these companies, but maybe the other people don't. But I usually always tell my customers to not get their mainline equipment they're going to be using from a pet store. I won't go buy a pinch collar from a pet store. They're garbage. Right? They're American made. The metal that's used in the Herm Springer is a lot better, and they take the labor to actually round off the edges on them instead of like ours in the pet store. They're usually just cut, and it's got a little sharp point on it. They do the man hours to actually round off the tips on the Herm Springer so they're nice and round. You don't need them to be so sharp. And they don't pivot as well because they're not designed, as far as the actual link itself is not designed as well. So they don't pivot and do what they're supposed to do, which is pivot and, okay, good. All right, let me go ahead and work him. But that's just a little bit of the equipment that I use. I've got all kinds of stuff. My whole back of my truck is nothing but sleeves and leg sleeves. I've got a really nice apron. You don't ever see me in any of this because I'm not out doing decoy work all that much, because what I do is, what you see now with me building him, is I do a lot of the puppy work, but I go into, because I want him to be worked by other people, and I go find the talent that I need, and I go out and work with decoys that I trust, and we start building the dog in that respect, right? Doesn't mean I don't know how to do it, believe me. I may not be as adept at using a clatter stick and all that kind of thing as other people, but you need to understand how to do things in the right way. In regards to that, it's a fine art if you want to look good. All right, you want to look good. Good. All right, so let me go back to working him. But that's just a little bit of the equipment that I use. What I have in my pouch, like I said, I have what did I do with my other ball? I had 2 of them. I need 2 balls. What happened with my other ball? I had 2 of them in my pouch, but one of them disappeared. There it is. I put it in the wrong pouch. All right, so I need 2 of them because I'm going to go into the ball play with him, and I'm doing 2 ball with him right now, getting him more and more used to the aspects of it. Good. All right, notice how he's set up. Now that he knows that I'm giving him attention and he's going to get his pattern, he's going to work for me, right? Good, but the real beast is there all the time, believe me. Good. Good. Let me get this chair out of the way because I want to keep my clocking routine. Yep, come on, let's go. Good. So this is where we started with some of these patterns that are important in our build, which is the clocking, crochet. Good. Okay. Nope. Nope. Good. And we're going to start building into some other things as he matures. But these are the building blocks that are important as I go out in public. If you saw me at the Verizon store yesterday, you saw me walking around an object which takes me out of sight of him and then back out, and all of a sudden I appear on the other side. That's his perception. So that's important. I call that around the corner work. And that's a very important thing to start building your downstays, where when you disappear, he always thinks you're right around the corner. That's why we call it around the corner work. And I'm going to clock him right now. This is going around him, all the way back to his side. Good. A nice little pause before I gave it to him, okay? So now I've got him in flow now. Good. And now I'm going to go ahead and put him into my heel position and start from there. Good. Time level, I'm still building on it. And notice he starts whining. Good. That's threshold. His frustration levels and all that are going to start being a factor. As we build, we're going to be concentrating on, nope, nope, no. Good. Listen to the voice tone change, right? I went to a correction, tap, 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 making it a little bit mildly discomfort. No, no. Good. Good. And we're going to start increasing that as we go along. In other words, what I expect of him, right? Good. Not accepting the fact that he goes over threshold. Yep. And gets excited because he wants what he wants, right? Yes. Good boy. And I'm pushing that envelope right now. Yes. Make him wait for longer and deal with his emotional, yes, state of mind that he wants what he wants. Nope. Yes. Because we're going to be building into the pinch collar and all that stuff will be built in probably around 16 weeks of age. When I start going out in public, you're going to face a lot more environmental enticement. Yep. In regards to what the environment does to him, the grass, other people, all that stuff. And I'm going to need that extra, and I need to build into that too. So I'll actually introduce it to him. I like my little park because a lot of times it's really quiet in the mornings and there's hardly anybody there. I'll deal with those stimulations, the stimulation coming from the environment, and start them out slow, and then I'll slowly work into that pinch collar and start working on the gazebo, on the cement. So I'm already thinking how I'm going to deal with it because I'm analyzing his behavior and what he's giving me. Yep, we just saw some of that right now when I wasn't giving him a pattern that he's used to. Where did his head go, right? Good. Let me see my camera set. Nope, nope. Good. All right, I can start using this for my stay a little bit. Good. Teaching him to stay at one center spot. And I'm looking for my camera set. And I'm going to pull back a little bit. Here we go. And then I'm going to put this over here. Good. And I'll start using that and lock him down onto that. Start telling him no, that he's not allowed to break. And keep working on what's going to build into our down stays, our sit stays, our stay in general. Good. Clocking him, which is different than he's used to. He's used to spinning with me, right? Because I was doing this and going this way, right? Yes. So I'm challenging his brain a little bit, even with little subtle ways. Nope, nope. Good. There you go. Good. Nope. Good boy. Good. Now he wants that little piece that slid to the ground. His brain's going to go to that. And I'm going to wait. Nope. For him to make the mistake. No. Good. Yeah, see if I can find myself a little small choke chain maybe. Small little choke chain might be. I just need something that breaks his concentration and picks him up. And the harness isn't going to do enough. He'll start working his way right through it and won't care about the harness at all. And I won't get any ability to give him a no, a tap. It's all about timing. Yep. So at his age right now, I don't want to flood his brain with the same sensation that's going to be given to him when you do the pinch collar, because he's just not old enough for it yet, I don't think, personally. Good. Quarter turn. Yes. Good. Letting him feel my body is what my goal is as I go along with this. I want him to touch my body and teach him that body. And I don't do a ring sport contact heel. Each sport has a little different nuances, and the ring sport has a contact heel where the dog's always touching your body, and that's a cue. That's help in its own way, right? And I don't do that. I want my dogs to be subservient to me and to be aware of what I'm doing all the time and understand that. It goes back to avoidance and escape and a lot of other methods that we use. Yes. Good. Notice me tease, tease, tease. Take it away. Make him want it, right? Yep. Good. Nope. Nope. Yes. Good boy. Good. Yep. Movement. Yep. Good. Keeping him with me a little longer. Back to my leg. Good. And then really accent that back by giving him a lot of body praise and let him feel that, right? Nope. Good. Now I need to increase this at some point. I don't know if I have a small little choke chain, something that's big enough to put on him that's not too big. Nope. Good. All right, let me go ahead and do my healing thing. Get into my healing flow, which is, I don't know if you noticed, he's got a kind of a double hop. Well, the way that I've found anyway, myself, and I know there's people that are a lot better than this than me, is to keep the food there in front of his nose. And it kind of creates this little prance. And don't let him double hop because I've got downward pressure into his nose. And he's digging up too. So, and that gets me, there you go. Yes. All right, let's try it again. Come on. Good boy, good. There you go. Good. Listen to the voice tone. Good boy, good. There you go. Yes, good. Yes. And I am analyzing the whole time, yes, where his brain is going with consistent pattern. Yes, because I've got to be able to feel that it's time to break pattern, right? And I'm sensing that now. Yep. When we took him out and I was yakking at the screen showing you some of my equipment going through my pockets. Oh, that's the other pocket we have. Over here on this right side, obviously my hot dogs. Yay. And then I've got balls on right and left here. A lot of times I'll load up with tugs in the back. I love this pouch because It's I've used other ones, and there's other ones on the market that they're real tight in the pockets. If I can't get my hand into it and it's too tight, it becomes an irritant, right? I like these nice big pockets. The other reason I like this is it's fabric. I can wash it real easy. It's like the fabric, the same fabric they use in the painter's pouches. You ever go to the store and you get yourself a painter's pouch? Well, that same fabric is what they're using here, but it's colored black, right? So Skull Hattie, I like their equipment. I like their stuff. Good. They've got a lot of nice product on their website. Good. Yes. Good boy. Good. All right. Let me get him going the other way. I'm pivoting to my right. Actually, yeah, that's his right for the rear end pivot. So I haven't been doing much of this. We got to keep it balanced, right? So we got to go the other way because this back end awareness is going to be what's important for progressing into our pivots, and backing up has to be taught too. Good, and that'll be all around 16 weeks of age. I'll start there. When I work him into the pinch, I'll be able to do a lot of little things, and that'll be a whole progression into the new world he lives with at the park. He's not getting any of that now because I'm not going to go out to the park, so I'm keeping him out of the flower beds. When I went into Home Depot yesterday, I carried him all the way in until we got into that nice clean floor. Didn't let him out in the flower beds. Verizon, same thing. I don't want him to going over there and sniffing because that's where all the dogs are going dookie, right? Yep. Good. There you go. Good. Now, another thing, just in a general sense, guys, we didn't realize it. You can pay me to work a dog. I do it all the time. Well, I have puppies, and nobody's approached me on it this time. A lot of times it just happens where somebody will say, okay, I want that puppy. Can you work him? And so I can imprint him. I can do all this work for you. And you can get your dog and have all this stuff get done for you by paying me to work the dog, right? So it costs you a little bit more money, but remember, your skill level is not going to be as good as mine in regards to how many years I've been doing this and what I do to set this up. It's going to give you that baseboard that you can go from there, and then you don't have to deal with the immaturity ages, right? This little dynamo, the pain in the ass that they are, huh? Yeah, good boy, good. Good. And we can keep going this way. I think we're going to keep doing this so he gets so used to it. Yes, good boy. And we're increasing our time level on this. How much? Yes, good boy. We're trying to just get him basically the agility of it, right? The dexterity of it, the clumsy left foot that they would have. The brain needs to line up, and that just takes practice. It's like anything you do, right? First time you do it, you're a fumbling idiot, and after a little while, you got it wired, right? Nope, nope, no. Good. What'd I say? No. Good. Good. The idea there, guys, is I'm the bank of boo-boo. I've always got food. There's a correction down low for him going down. I'm going to bring up my correction level for that, especially when we get into the pinch collar. I won't need much because that'll be a whole new sensation to him, and I can start tapping his nose out of here. Remember, the tool is only as good as the person using it. I don't need to yank his head off. I can set up tap, tap, tap. Same thing when I use an e-collar, for example. We go low stimulation. It's how you use it and how you approach it to teach the dog the concepts of the tool that you're trying to use. The tool is only as good as the person using it, right? And it gets, anything can be abusive. I can overfeed him. I can yank his head off with just a regular collar, right? I can swing him into a wall and be, abusive. It's all about the person that's doing the work, right? Nope. And their ability to understand there's nuances in it, and there's etiquette in regards to what you're doing with the animal. You don't want to ruin the animal. You do it too heavy and too much, and if you're an asshole because you're emotionally not stable, yes. And that's usually what happens. You catch this stuff on film and somebody's over there kicking the dog in the head. It's their frustrations. It's their mental inadequacies that's causing the abusiveness. I had one video I saw a few weeks ago that the girl came up and smacked the dog with a baseball bat, the plastic baseball bats and stuff. It's ridiculous. It's where is your head at in the work, right? There's a group over in Europe right now, in UK, and it's coming over here, and I can't think of the name of it. But there was a blowout because dogs got overheated and they were beating them with bottles and all that, and they don't want anybody out filming them now. So now that nobody's going to be able to film them because they're saying no cameras allowed, that kind of thing, because they're still into what they're into, and they're still going to go out and do it regardless. They need to be shut down. That stuff is abusive. It boils down to you're not building a dog. You're trying to feed your ego, make you think that your dog's the biggest, baddest in the block, and my dog's bigger and badder than you. I've seen some stuff in the dog training field blow me away. One time I saw two guys getting in an argument, and they online type of thing, right? They started to have words, and they were challenging, I'll run your dog. And this guy shows up in the city with trash can lids, and he's running his dog out of. Anybody that knows what they're doing can run a dog. It's not hard. When you've got equipment, when you've got a trash can lid, and it's ridiculous. It really is. We're out to build dogs and make them as strong as we can in case that one day that ever happens that you do have a situation where you need your dog thinks he's Superman and he's going to follow through and do what he's supposed to do. And most of the time with somebody that doesn't know what they're doing and has not been around the dogs, and they aren't going to know what they're doing, your dog's going to end up winning and you're going to end up being able to overcome the situation that you're in, right? But then you've got to deal with liability. And okay, you got to think of all the aspects of things. You use a dog on somebody, and you better dang well have ability to prove in court that you feared for your life, or something was going on, he was broaching into your house, or whatever the situation may be, that it was a justified situation. Remember, you're not a cop, right? You're not law enforcement. Law enforcement has the power of arrest, and they have a lot more ability to do what they're doing out there on the street because they're dealing with the real world, versus you as a civilian. You have to toe a different line, whether you like it or not. It's reality, because you'll get sued. And if you've got anything, they're going to take everything you got. I think there's one video that came out a while back where the guy was sicking his dog on somebody because the guy pulled out his dick, excuse my language here, and got him inappropriate with his old lady, and he sicked the dog on him, and it was just, dang well that went to a lawsuit. I haven't heard much about it, but I'll tell you what, dang well that went to a lawsuit, and the guy probably got his ass sued real bad, right? So realize you gotta be realistic. You have an animal and you're responsible for that animal and you're responsible for your behavior, period, right? Even if you use a gun or a knife or whatever it is, you better dang well know what you're doing in regards to that, because you're going to go to jail. I think it was a boxing clip I saw a week or two ago where the guy was talking about how to defend yourself, and that if you did the wrong thing and a guy gets smacked, he hits his head and he dies, you're going to get manslaughter, period. I mean, manslaughter's manslaughter. Doesn't matter what happened, the dude died, right? So you got to be smarter than being stupid, right? And like I've told people before, and I've said it on my clips, I've never had a dog bite situation. Well, other than one guy that pulled the gun on me in Oakland, and that was just being young and stupid, but he pulled the gun and the dog nailed him and took him down. But that's the only time I've ever had a situation with a dog bite, ever. And it's because I'm not stupid. I don't go out and use my dog as a threatening tool and get my ego all over the place and think I'm a badass with my dog. He's there for psychological deterrent. That's 90% of it. And loving to build the dog and do the best I can in my profession to produce a product that's going to be there for the customer. But you need to understand how to deploy that product, how to use that product in the right way. And 90% of that right way is psychological deterrent. That's what a dog's all about. Why do you think that people buy Masters and all these conning courses? It's presence. It's size of the dog that deters 90% of everything that's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So, and all the rest of it's just us out there having fun, building our dogs, doing what we're doing. And again, trying to make sure that when the time comes, if I ever had to use my dog, he's going to be ready for me. But 90% of what I do is teach people how to set up psychological deterrent within their environment and how they use and use the dog in that respect to stop people from wanting to break into their house or broach their areas, right? It's all psychological. And it's how I use that dog in my environment that matters, right? So, all right, I'm getting a little off track. But Mark Perez, Protect Dog Training, and the little terror that he is, that little terror that he is. Yeah, I see you. I see you. We're done. We're going to go eat. You hungry? Are you hungry? Yeah. I'm done yakking at the screen. I'm done yakking at the screen. You ready? Yeah. Good boy. Good boy. All right, let's go. You hungry? Let's go. All right, we're done. We're done. I was going to play ball, but I'm in the mood to go get him fed and move on to my other chores. Talk to you later. Mark Fresh, Protect Dog Training. And Big Boy, he's just scrounging for food, and he needs to learn to stop that. We'll get that done as we build the dog. Talk to you later.